we're going to change gears here real quick. I'm joined on the line by filmmaker Jamal Smart. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Excellent. Now, I should have this pulled up in front of me. Well, you're a new filmmaker, right? Is this your first film you've made?
This is my first film I made for myself.
Okay. So how'd you get into film?
I got into film through my cousins. My cousins, Chauncey Henry, Tristan Smart, Jason Smart. They were like creators early on. They were doing like a bunch of music videos, film, and not recently, about a couple of years ago, my cousin Chauncey, he made a film called Black Friday Subliminal, and he had me on set, and that kind of inspired me to make a film. Because to me, if one of my family members can do it, then I can do it.
Where are you from originally?
Amityville, New York.
Amityville. So you're real local.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm real local, man.
Born and raised, and you're still in Amityville, or?
Yeah, I'm still in Amityville.
All right. Nothing wrong. You might know some mutual folks. So now, how long have you been doing this? Have you gotten interested in film? Have you taken any film courses or studied film?
Just YouTube, fellow filmmakers, fellow videographers, photographers, and just learning from them. I'm really like an observant person.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any background in photography?
I've done photography for about like 10 years now. I was signed to like a magazine as an event photographer, the Flavor magazine. I've been showcasing Vogue, showcasing GQ. I had pictures in Times Square. So I have a very like good background in photography.
Mm-hmm. And cinematography?
Cinematography, I worked on a bunch of sets. I worked on music videos that have been showcased on BET, VH1, countless music artists, A Boogie. I've done stuff with Connie Diamond.
Okay. So how did you choose the subject matter of this film that you made?
So the subject matter is about postpartum. I chose it from the stories that my community has shared with me. I had my first child when I was 16. A lot of my friends and family will come up to me and ask me, or just tell me stories about how they're feeling, how parenthood, and I'm hearing these stories, and they just seem like they're just depressed or unconnected with their child. And me having a background in photography, videography, like I wanted to connect the dots and make a story, basically make a love letter to show that you're being heard, you're being felt.
Now, you call it postpartum depression.
Postpartum depression.
I hear some people
postpartum.
Mm-hmm. I hear some people talking about post-traumatic disorder and all this stuff, and when they really what they really mean is postpartum depression, and there's a whole lot of things that contribute to this experience, physiological things, and some communities have help dealing with this, as well as maybe possibly a more solid network of family to help them through things and explain these things that are coming at them, when a lot of times, our families aren't as well connected. But tell me about the characters in your film and what their familial situation is, and what you're portraying there.
This story follows a married couple, Naomi and John. They're a black married couple, and Naomi goes through a character arc of trying to not seek help. She will suffer in silence. Every time she would try to open up, her husband, which is John, he will be dismissive or emotionally unavailable or not listen to her, and that sends her spiraling. She suffers from postpartum depression, postpartum rage, postpartum psychosis. And John, the husband, he suffers from postpartum anxiety, postpartum OCD. The character arc that John goes through, he is like, oh, that won't happen to us, or no, I don't believe in that type of stuff. But then he learns in the end that we need to come together and tackle this problem together instead of having her wallow in her own.
Now, where are their parents in this conversation? Because usually, when a woman is going through this, she has her mother that she might want to speak to, or even her mother-in-law, maybe sometimes. Help them. Tell me about
So,
that.
so John's mother, I just call her grandma in the movie, she is the voice of reasoning. She's the one who helps John understand and say, like, yo, this is a real problem. And the community I built around this married couple, it comprises of a friend of Naomi. The friend is someone who, like, she's in her head. She only worries about herself. She has one-sided conversations. So she tell her things like, you'll get through this, or you're strong, when she's trying to emotionally, tell her what's going on with her. And the friend of John, which is Henry, he's the person like, yeah, I think she's suffering through this. And, like, you try to give her little, like, insights like, yeah, I think you should, take this serious. And he's like, he just brushes it off. And that's how I built the community around them. Naomi's mom and parents are not really existent. It's more of I just built the community like that.
Interesting. And where did you do the filming?
I did the filming in Long Island. I did some in Amityville, some in Freeport. Then I did some in Huntington, and then I did a last minute scene in New Jersey at a restaurant.
Okay. Now, did you have any real life experience that you drew from? Something that you went through personally, or somebody close to you went through?
So when I wrote the script, I did a case study with about 30 women who went through postpartum. Yeah, I used their stories to put it in the film to have it very relatable. And a lot of parents and women who watch the film in its entirety, they see themselves in it. And a lot of fathers who watch the film in the entirety, they see themselves in it. So it's like a self-reflection of what can be going on next door to you, or what could be going on 50 states away from you. So that's how I built it in.
Do you ever touch on the fact that previous generations didn't really have time, or weren't really, like, allowed to have postpartum depression? You have, during slavery and stuff, mothers taking care of other people's, even nursing other people's babies. And
I felt like the community. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. I know. I want to, because when you talk about this, I'm thinking about the generations before, and it's like they really didn't have time. They just had to suck it up and deal with life, or either they might have committed suicide or something, because everybody was making a film. Come on, you just got to deal with this. Do you go into that?
No, I don't really touch on that in the movie, but I do feel like the community back then was more tight-knit. It's just the way that our lives are set up now that, grandparents can't really be grandparents because it's hard out here. So we have to work longer and longer, so we really don't have that freedom of having grandparents retired or not have to constantly work to just upkeep a normal lifestyle. So that's my theory about it's not so severe. Then just like mental health in general has become more and more prevalent in our world with all these things going on. To answer your question, they did suffer, but they had way more help, because I believe that statistics show that every 1 out of 7 women suffer from postpartum depression.
You said 1 out of 7?
Yeah, 1 out of 7 women suffer from postpartum depression, or postpartum in general.
The idea, there are a lot of people who need help, whether it's postpartum depression or just, other mental health issues, depression in general. And it's almost like a luxury, because even if you have medical insurance, a lot of times this is not covered, and if you don't have family around you, and, you don't have the financial resources to get help, now what is the question? And that's overall just a social observation. in general about the subject and about us taking care of our mental health and our families and our friends. It's difficult. It's difficult, and now the circumstances, it's. I don't think it's going to get better because so many things are being cut back as far as services for people. So, Jamal, tell everybody all of your websites, your social media, your website for the film, etc.
So I just launched my website called BehindTheJoy.com. You can buy tickets at Eventbrite for the movie premiere happening March 14th at the Belmore Theater. Just type in Eventbrite, Behind the Joy. The Instagram is Behind the Joy Film. And I just like to give a shout out to my cousin Tristan Smart. He did this radio station about 15 years ago, and I feel like it's a full swing back. Then I like to give a shout out to my cast members, Café, Brown, Bobby Gideons, the Third, Megan Salfarley, Ty Lawson, and Darnell Thomas. And you can always find their Instagrams on what they do on the Behind the Joy Film Instagram. And I just really hope to see everyone in presence at the movie premiere, which is happening March 14th at the Belmore Theater. And just to answer your question, there's always resources out there. There is a beautiful center called the Postpartum Resources in New York, and they have toll-free hotlines. You can always connect with a doula. You can always connect with a midwife, or OGBYN. Just ask questions because to suffer in silence is not a good thing.
What's the name of that center?
Postpartum Resource Center in New York.
Okay. Just want to make sure anybody who might need that information,
And their website is postpartumnewyork.org.
Thank you.
And there's a bunch of resources out there.
Say that one more time.
Postpartumnewyork.org.
Postpartumnewyork.org. Okay, that's for everybody out there who might need some of those resources to help them get through the thing. And once again, the information about the screening of the film.
The screening is happening March 14th at the Belmore Theater at 7 p.m. It's a red carpet event, semi-formal. We're going to have an after party. I would like to read off all the supporters and all the people that are connecting with me for this movie premiere.
I want to thank Cindy Campbell for making the introduction.
Big shout out to Cindy Campbell for making this introduction.
And she is very much involved with film and other realms of entertainment, the first lady of hip-hop. And her history goes back. And who's responsible for hip-hop? Kool Herc or his sister, Cindy?
DJ Kool Herc, yes.
All right. They both were responsible for the birth of it because she had the idea to throw the party. And her mother said, "You're going to do it right here in the center, in the building they lived in." So, and she's keeping an eye on them, and that's what set it off. And here we are.
I want to give a shout out to Strong Island Boxing, the Experience Coffee House Juice Bar in Brooklyn, Nassau County Mental Health Department, Suffolk County of Minority Health, Port Jefferson Free Library, Long Island Jewel Association, Women's Diversity Network, the Postpartum Resource Center of New York, Beta Psi, Sigma, SGRO, Pi Pi Omega, a.k.a. Huntington Art Week, Huntington Art Council, Black Woman of Long Island, Frankie's Haircuts on Broadway, NW Beauty Bar, Nisha LaBelle Coffee, Amsterdam on Post Coffee Shop, Jamaica Grand Restaurant, Happy Court Brooklyn, Urban League of Long Island, Mama Outspoken, Black Maternal Wellness Collective, Tribal Film Festival, Suffolk County Department of Health Services, Outreach, Color Colors, Ben & Jerry's Huntington, the Valiant, Nassau County Prenatal Service Network, and SUNY Kingsborough Community College. Those are all people who helped me and who let me share my film and spread awareness.
And the premiere of the film again?
It's March 14th at the Belmore Theater. You can buy your tickets on Eventbrite to search up Behind the Joy Film or go to the website behindthejoy.com.
And that's Not this Friday, but next Friday.
Next Friday,
Okay.
starting
Excellent.
at 7 p.m.
All right. So listen, I want to thank you for sharing this, and it should be very interesting. I'm very interested in this. I don't know if I'll be able to make it, but
Why not?
because I have a standing commitment on Friday nights, and
I hope God makes a way. I really do.
okay, we'll see. We'll see. We will see. So, but I thank you for joining us and sharing, and I hope you're had the most success, and I hope you actually reach people to help them. You know, that's the
Yes.
most important thing.
It's
Okay.
more than a movie. It's a movement.
Jamal Smart, thank you for joining us here on
Thank
the
you.
Cafe Ali Radio Show. And if you don't hear from me, contact me back and let me know how your premiere went.
Okay, great.
All right. Thank you for joining us, man. And stay in
All
touch.
right. All right. Have a great day.
You too. And now back to the Megapolitan